To know why we are here. Ladies, gentlemen, viewers, subscribers, please subscribe. And listeners, welcome back to Battle Rap Radar Network presents The Weigh-In, where we discuss all the hot topics and current events in the world of MMA, mixed martial arts, latest fights, results, recaps, interviews with your favorite fighters, and soon we want to hear from you. So we'll have a call-in line where you can debate with us, ask questions, or just listen in. Follow us at Battle Rap Radar Network on Twitter and here on YouTube at Battle Rap Radar, BATTLERAPRADAR. I am your host, Cage Side Carter, and I'm here with my fellow host, one guy so cool, he has so much insight that if you need to do a lotto quick pick four, choose his name, 1791. What's up, man?
What's going on? How you guys doing?
Dude, you had a lot of events to watch last night. You on your sixth cup of coffee or something?
The Red Bull coffee and caffeine pills. I got to do it all.
You got to have your computer, your Mac in front of you. You got to have a TV, above that. You're like in your man cave right there. You got your notebook out, man. Yeah. Can't wait to hear your insight on another fun event that was not UFC related, but I was wondering what was going to have more action. UFC Long Island or Mass 3. So everyone that's listening, if you missed it, go check out last week's episode of The Weigh-In where we recapped UFC 213, the Ultimate Fighter finale. And I guess since the Ringling Brothers Circus show ended earlier this year, we spoke on the new greatest show on earth, which was the Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather presser. So check out those from the weigh-in. So we're going to get into it right now. I kind of want to start off with, and because I want to go through this quickly, because I really want to go into kind of could be like the summer madness, you could say, the WrestleMania for the UFC, which will be UFC 214. But real quickly, I want to do a session to have you real exciting next week, something I call ICYMI, and that's an acronym for, in case you missed it, so it's just going to be the weekly news for the past week. I'm going to go through the bullet points. If there's one that's really itching at you, 1791, just jump in and talk about it, or we could just wait till the bullet points are over and then just speak on it as a whole. So, earlier this week, they added two fights to UFC 215, which is taking place in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. That is on September 9th. The first is the obviously rescheduling of what was supposed to happen last week, the Amanda Nunes versus Valentina Shevchenko bantamweight title fight. So that'll be in Canada on September 9th. The second one that they just kind of popped up on us like a State Farm agent is finally he can stop moaning and grinding, and he finally got his way. So good old Mighty Mouse Johnson, he's back in action. He's back in action against Ray Borg. And, sometimes people think this is a boring fight, but this has some backstory to it because GJ will be attempting to break Anderson Silva's record for title defenses, which would be number 11. So that's a big deal.
Yeah, low-key going for the supposed GOAT title, would you say?
Yeah, you could say that he's already got right now, because it's something that always often slides and changes. He's already captured the pound for pound, arguably, unarguably as of right now, because, hey, the dude hasn't lost. And
he finishes fights. He goes for the finish.
He has. A lot of people, they say stuff about things that he can't control. Yes, he can make 125. Yes, he's like 5'5". That's kind of like out of his control, all right? They can't have him be Stipe overnight. But he goes in there and he puts on fights. And honestly, before a little bit of the rant, he's a company man, right? He went before this rant before. He did his fight, did what they told him to do, and they didn't even give him his belt. He didn't say a word, and, now this is on him. We'll see how it goes for him. All right,
he's got a nice little prospect to fight, too, in Borg, 11-2 out of Jackson Winklejohn's gym. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, it's hard, it's kind of like kind of like when they were throwing everyone at Anderson. You look into their stats, you look into their gym, you try to find ways to think how interesting the fight could be, and it's difficult to tell, but it might be a good one. Let's see if DJ finally gets put to a real test.
Yeah, go DJ. But I'm glad that you told me about Ray Borg and that little insight there, because I go, Demetrius Johnson versus who? I had to Google this guy. I haven't heard of this guy before. Oh my gosh, and he's number 3. Well, hey, we'll see how it goes.
I'm trying to remember who. I think he's fought once in the UFC against Formiga. I'm almost 100% sure it was Josier Formiga. And he beat him by decision. It wasn't, I wasn't going home and talking to everyone about his debut like Gaethje last week, but, he did good. He looked nice. He beat a top contender, so, they got to throw somebody besides a rematch, right?
Right, it's just a little less because, we all thought it might have been Dillashaw, an excellent contender that, might be able to stop his streak. But out of the blue comes Ray Borg. So, hey, good luck to him, and we'll see how that goes. Someone in another way as far as next following news that I think was missing in action for a while. No one knew where this lady was, but she goes by GDR, Jermaine Durandamy. She is dropping back down to 135. For all of you that are facing Marion Renault on some fight card somewhere, for the fans just listening and people that don't really know, Jermaine Durandamy beat Holly Holm earlier and was the first inaugural featherweight champion for UFC. And then I guess she said because Cyborg was on PED, she thought her whole life that she's not going to fight a dirty fighter. So she decided she basically got her belt stripped. And she was gone for a while, but I guess she's back, and she said, hey, I can make 135, so I'll just continue to fight 135. So she'll be back.
I'm not even excited for her. Hollow the Dawn voice. I'm not excited. She just, I'm sure she'll put on a hell of a fight, too. That's the funny part about saying I'm not excited. It's just that, how do you, you just turn down a fight. Like, you won the belt. Isn't that what you fight for? Isn't that what you are, to be the best and fight the best? And if she's passing the drug test, just book the fight.
Yeah, I agree. It really is so sad how this lady that's considered to be, the best, undefeated for 10 years, just can't, everyone just trashes her on social media. They don't want to fight her. She's supposed to have Megan Anderson, which is number 1 in Invicta at 45. She just cannot catch a break. Almost to the point where, man, that's impressive. You're so scary that the actual champion runs from you and goes down a weight class. I don't think I've heard that in anything before. But, hey,
that's
does at 135 again.
Just when you think you've seen it all, somebody comes around and surprises you, huh?
And I'm telling you, maybe next week something else might happen, man. Good or bad. But I have that feeling for next week. I got, goosebumps. So outside of that, another person that's back in latest news is number 3 middleweight in the world. We've been talking a lot about middleweight. It's been middleweight week for this last week or so. That is Luke Rockhold. He is back, and he's taking on, although it's his second fight in the UFC, he's already number 9, and that's in David Branch, and that'll be on UFC Pittsburgh. For those that don't really know, David Branch, just like Justin Gaethje, is a World Series of Fighter, former fighter. He actually was kind of like a Conor McGregor, where he held 2 different belts in 2 different weight classes. So this will obviously, now that he's on to, quote, the big league, will be a step up in competition for him. It'll be nice to see Rockhold back after, a little bit of a long layoff, I would say.
Yeah, he hasn't fought since what? Michael Bisping, no?
Yeah. I think, sometimes they lose their title and they go into hiding. I believe that's the case. I don't want to be doubly sure about it. But I could
it's a super embarrassing loss, though. I mean, I thought you would think that there's either two things that he could do: take the huge layoff, or come back in a month and fight right away to shake it off. And I mean, he hadn't. To take a loss like that, and he's been knocked out. I mean, Vitor Belfort knocked him out, and they had bad blood. But to take that loss like that when he was, I mean, it was pretty much inconceivable that he was going to win.
Right.
And he went and got knocked out the way that he got knocked out, just flat out disrespecting. Yeah. I mean, I'd want to take some time off too, huh?
Especially from Bisping, because he'll let you have it. Bisping will talk a good game prior to the fight. He was on a movie set. Everyone was in here. I'll take the fight. Weinman's out. Oh, sure. I'll fight Rockhold again. He comes on, puts that performance, and one thing I love is when because Michael Bisping's British, and even when they talk smack, it just sounds so nice sometimes. He puts it down, but you feel like he should be upset. You're like, well, he sounded so nice, when he did it. But yeah, man, but he'll be back. The only slight thing about this is, and one thing about UFC 213, I already went on it before, it was proven, and sadly, same thing for last night, but they didn't do the best pay-per-view numbers. And as our, battle rap buddy Hitman Hollow knows, it's all about the views.
All about the views. They didn't do those numbers last night, not at all. If I'm not mistaken, I was reading that was the worst views since they've started UFC on Fox, which is pretty shitty to say the least. Because they've had some other bad cards on there. And this card wasn't too bad. I mean, a couple people who you may have to double check who they were if you're not the hardcore fan. But Chris Weidman, he beat Anderson Silva. He's a name. He's a huge name. And just didn't do any numbers. But I guess, that's what happens. He come off such a long time on top of the fact that he got a three fight losing streak before that too. But my man came through
in his hometown. And hey, if the marketing department just checked with me, I could just let them know that this UFC Fight Night Long Island card, it was competing with Mass 3. Didn't they know everyone was going to be watching that?
Yeah, and I think it's KOTD's known for throwing them when they're on UFC nights. It's unbelievable. It never fails. Every huge card they have is on the UFC Fight Night.
It's cool, but yeah, that's the same thing here. The real last, you could say, Snapple top fact is this Luke Rockhold, David Branch fight. UFC Pittsburgh, it's on the same night as Canelo Alvarez versus Triple G. So, as far as numbers that might defeat the numbers from last night as far as lower ratings, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, you're right.
It's real boxers boxing match. Outside of that, and this is breaking news, from myself, from Cage Side Card. You hear it first. So we talked about UFC 214, which will be next week, good card. That's going to be July 29th. And then we talked about UFC 215, the whole Nunes-Shevchenko rematch, DJ versus Ray Borg fight, which is going to be on September 9th. And my breaking news to you is it's going to be a rough month for August. That's like a month in between. Now, granted, they're doing that because they're focusing all their efforts on either the Mayweather-McGregor bash, but for all of you mixed martial artists, UFC lovers, they might have some cards, but you know how that'll be.
Yeah, they're gonna have to give a lot more promo to that Tuesday night fight series that they got going on, because it's gonna be pretty slow in August.
Yes, and actually, that was my last main point, because we didn't really speak about it last time, because we just had so much to cover, because it was a little bit more of a unique night with two kind of high-end events and then the presser. But what do you think about that Dana White's Contender series? And I love the tagline to it, just because I wish it could happen a new one. It's called the Ultimate Interview.
Yeah, I think it's an awesome idea. I mean, gives another outlook, to up-and-coming guys, especially, the way the ranker is nowadays. And then, I think it's the cool way to try to reach new fans. They got Snoop Dogg doing commentating, and it's an exciting series. I know they just uploaded a fight, I think earlier today, and it was they just uploaded a fight on their YouTube page. I didn't get to catch it yet, but I'm looking at it right now online. Sean O'Malley and, pardon me, but Alfred Kashakian. That's probably wrong, but apparently it's a tagged impressive knockout by Sean O'Malley. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. I'll have to check it out after the show, so there's no dead silence on here. But I can imagine it's a pretty good one. They're uploading them pretty quickly there. I'll have to look into that Tuesday night series. Definitely, and we're going to need something to talk about in August.
Yeah, me too as well. The only thing is, like, a lot of these are on UFC Fight Pass, which I think is like a subscription platform that you might have to buy. So sometimes there might be certain highlights that I get through my Twitter. It'd be nice if they could just show some of the fights, like on Fight TV Fox Sports 1 or Fox Sports 2, just so I can kind of check it out in DVR. It might draw a little bit of interest. I'm not sure what you compete with on a Tuesday night, but to get fans in for people that no one knows, and then maybe to have a Snoop Dogg commentary to draw the casuals in. I know it's a summer series, but I think I like that idea from Dana White and the UFC crew. So
it probably brings a lot of buzz to the Fight Pass too. I had Fight Pass. I actually got rid of it fairly recently. It got a little tiring in terms of the content. Every once in a while they do have some events on there, but they're always the bottom tier of their events, and typically they're overseas, so they're events that are at 11 a.m. on a Sunday or Saturday. So it's a little bit different. So you usually catch them on the back end after knowing the results. But the only thing that kind of steers me away from it is, like, you got things like the WWE Network, and they got, for instance, I was listening to Ringside recently, and they were talking about it, but they have the pay-per-views on there, and, like, you can go check the pay-per-views out. And it's even if it was more than the $10 that they charge right now for UFC Fight Pass, if you got every pay-per-view that they came out with it, even if it was like the day after or something like that, I think that would draw a lot of fans in too. I'm sure they're doing well, but that's really the only reason that kind of steered me away. It's like, when you see other platforms doing things like that, kind of steers you away and makes you think, oh man, I'd invest in this if they gave you more features with it. Because if I'm going to buy the pay-per-view and go on Fight Pass, for that I can go find old fights on YouTube all the time. I don't need to go through Fight Pass to watch old fights. And most of these other fights that happen at 11 in the morning, they get replayed on Fox Sports 1 the next day. So it's like you're going to catch it anyways.
Right. Yeah, testify. Preach on 1791. Hallelujah. That's what I'm talking about. Are you listening, UFC? Marketing, whoever does the digital online subscriptions? That's
Put me on the payroll.
Yeah. Get my man on the payroll over here. But I wish I could make some random sound, but like doo-doo-doo. But that is it for In Case You Missed It, ICYMI, for the latest news of the week.